You know what's coming? The battle of the Dior Sauvages. EDT versus the EDP. Is the EDP still sexy in 2020? Stay tuned. We'll find out. Now, for all you cologne enthusiasts, I know, you're tired of hearing about Dior Sauvage. But you can't deny its power and its effect. And to all the new people, Dior Sauvage welcomes you. Come into a Broxton heaven. Ooh, I even wore my blue shirt. The EDT, the classic, versus the EDP, its little brother. Ooh, when that EDT came out in 2015, the commercial with the Johnny Depp, everybody's like, oh, that dude is cool, I gotta get that. Johnny Depp? Well, actually, it's probably not cool to mention Johnny Depp now in 2020, but you get the idea. Come on now. The EDP, classic already. All right, now let's get into these notes. For all you old school folks, I know you know already, but for my new people, let's break it down. We got still the bergamot, we got nutmeg, we got lavender, we got ambroxan and vanilla. On my skin, for the first hour, maybe hour and a half, I get all that ambroxan bomb. I'm talking. But you know what? It isn't as loud as it is on the toilette. This eau de parfum is a little bit more smoother with the ambroxan. Like, I get it, but I also get the bergamot. I didn't get that as much with the toilette. The parfum has more of the bergamot than the ambroxan, but the ambroxan is still there on my skin at least. But it still smells so good and so smooth. Yeah, you actually get the nutmeg as well. This is like a refined wine, you guys. Now, I love the toilette, don't get me wrong. But the toilette doesn't hang when it comes to the colder months like fall and winter. For fall, I definitely prefer the EDP because of that nice bergamot. And then it curves so well with that nutmeg. And then the base is pure vanilla, pure ambroxan. It is so good and so refined. It makes me feel like I'm a gentleman. And you know I'm crazy. So let's talk about the difference between these bad boys, okay? With the toilette, I get a lot of the patchouli. And in the eau de parfum, I don't get the patchouli. But basically, they're the same cologne. The fact that I don't get patchouli doesn't really sway me that much because that ambroxan and that vanilla in the eau de parfum stands out so much to me. It's just more closer to the skin than is the toilette. So this is for the kind of guy who wants to be a little bit more discreet when he walks into the room. With the toilette, it's bam, I'm in the building in your face. But with the parfum, it's like, hey baby, what's up? Where you going tonight? What's your name? I'm eau de parfum. What's your name? I'm parfum. I'm eau de parfum. That's the difference. You see the conversation here? I'm a little bit more smoother and subtle with the parfum. With the toilette, I'm like, hey, what up, girl? How you doing? What's happening? Yo, come here. I'm in the building. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the parfum, you want to be a little bit more chill, a little bit more smooth. Then this is for you. Now let's talk about the projection of this bad boy. The eau de parfum still performs, it still projects. I still get at least 2 hours of strong projection in the beginning. It stays on my skin for a very, very long time. The only other cologne that I know does that, it smells like this, is the Prada Carbon. Prada Carbon still has almost the same notes, but it just doesn't have a lot of that ambroxan that I'm used to smelling in this one. It's not done as well either. I do like how well they did the ambroxan on this eau de parfum. The Prada Carbon, it's much cheaper than this as well, so I don't mind spraying that more often. This one, when I want to have that nice ambroxan smell and I'm going somewhere nice, I would definitely save my Dior Sauvage for those occasions and I'll use my Prada Carbon for a more playful, lighthearted occasion. Now, let's get to the good part, the compliments. Now, you're going to for sure absolutely get a compliment if you wear this cologne. The only thing is, though, you might smell like her ex-boyfriend because a lot of men, trust me, have worn this cologne. So if you're a newbie, just be aware that if you get this eau de parfum, you're probably going to smell like some girl's ex-boyfriend. I mean, when this cologne hit the stage, the toilet in 2015, it was everywhere. So you can imagine what it was like in 2018 when the eau de parfum came in. So a lot of us old school cats who used to wearing the Dior Sauvage, we know it, we smell it, we identify it. But for anybody who's new or is not aware of it, this eau de parfum is a go-to compliment magnet. I used this at a bonfire that I went to a couple of years ago. I'm telling you, it was so cool because I try to be chill and low-key about everything. I put the little cologne on. I put about usually 3 sprays of eau de parfum. I put one here, and one on my back. And I went to this bonfire and they wanted to take a group picture. And so I was like, okay, let's all take a group picture. Got in the picture and I had one girl on this side and a girl behind me and one of my homeboys on the left. And then the girl behind me said, oh my goodness, somebody smells good. And I just looked around like, man, who could they be talking about? Who's that? I don't want to, I don't want to be obnoxious. I was trying to be humble. And then the other girl to my right, she came up and actually sniffed my neck and said, hey, Troy, that's you. You smelling real good. I was like, well, I didn't know who else was wearing cologne or who you could be talking about. I didn't want to be conceited. So we all laughed because we had like 3 or 4 different girls come up to me and say, oh my goodness, you do smell so good. That is you. What are you wearing? And I told them I was wearing Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum. I can't make this up, fellas. It is a chick magnet. It just works. So every time I wear Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum, it reminds me of just night times on the beach at a bonfire. Because I live in LA. So in LA, we still go to the beach in the month of September and sometimes in October, and we have bonfires. So ever since that day, every time I smell that, I just think about my friends, having a good time on the beach, telling jokes, listening to music. It just brings back a lot of great memories every time I wear this perfume. So let's talk about the kind of person that I can see rocking this eau de parfum. See, this to me is more for the 30 and older crowd. The Toilette is definitely for the 20s, the college, the frat boys, the people that like to party. Even older guys can wear the Toilette, but not a lot of young guys can rock the eau de parfum the way it needs to be rocked. The eau de parfum is very refined, you guys. It smells very smooth. It smells very well-rounded. Okay, let's talk price point, okay? Now, this cologne is about $145 to $155 for the eau de parfum in 100 milliliter. Now, the same 100 milliliter for the eau de toilette is about $135 to $125. So it's a little cheaper because it's older. The eau de parfum just came out in 2018, so that's only 2 years ago. And it has more refinedness to it. It has more sophistication to it. So it's gonna cost you a little bit more money. I would recommend getting it though for the fall. The toilette just doesn't have enough for the fall. The parfum will get you all through the fall. All right, let's talk about rating, okay? Let's break these two down. Now, the Toilette, I definitely give this a 9 out of 10. I don't care how many people diss this cologne. I don't care how many people are wearing this cologne. This is still a masterpiece and for everybody's collection. 9 out of 10 for the Toilette. Now, for the Parfum, this is hands down a 10 out of 10 for your boy. I love just how sophisticated and how refined and elegant I feel when I wear this. It's not as loud. It's not as no, it's more James Bond, more 007, more cool, more smooth. So I definitely give this one a 10 out of 10. When you get a chance, go ahead, go to your local store, get a smell of these two. Tell me what you think. Have you tried the Toilette? Have you tried the Parfum? Let me know in the comments below which one you think is more better and which one you think is better for what time of year. Listen, either way, you're gonna smell good using this eau de parfum, okay? Let's go make some memories, y'all.